Hello, GW political junkies, and welcome to another episode of Colonial Crossfire. And today we have a very special episode for you because we're introducing a new segment, the Campaign Countdown. With less than 30 days until Election Day, more than 300 million ballots already cast, and candidates making their final pitches to undecided voters, there are a ton of important developments on the campaign trail breaking every day that you need to know. So to stay updated with the latest in the election, we have our two lovely correspondents to keep you in the loop of all things election 2020. Covering the former Vice President Joe Biden, we have Sejal Govindarao, and covering President Donald Trump, we have BRIANNA BUDELLI. Sejal and BRIANNA, thank you both for joining us. All right, for our first episode today, we have a lot of topics on the docket, but we'll start with last week in review. Sejal, what was the Biden campaign up to last week?
Since the debate last week, former Vice President Joe Biden has been focusing on increasing his support by appealing to the moderate and undecided voters. Biden took a train tour through Ohio and Western Pennsylvania, both of which are key states with very narrow margins between both candidates. At his town hall on Monday, Biden clearly stated that he is not a socialist, directly responding to criticism launched at him in the first debate. Biden is really trying to hammer in the fact that if elected, he will be the president for all people. At the debate, Biden looked into the camera several times, talking directly to the American people. His campaign has been persistent with this theme, as seen on Tuesday with Biden's speech in Gettysburg. The former vice president wanted the key takeaway to be the need for national unity at this juncture. He stated, quote, "We need to revive the spirit of bipartisanship in this country," making a direct pitch to voters on all ends of the political spectrum.
Thanks, Sejal. BRIANNA, what was the Trump campaign up to last week?
Early Friday morning, on October 2nd, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump announced via tweet that they tested positive for COVID-19. On Friday evening, the president was admitted to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. This diagnosis came after Trump trekked the country, attending a number of events. Last Saturday, he held a celebration in the Rose Garden at the White House for Judge Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court nomination. So far, more than 10 attendees have tested positive. After that event, the president traveled to the debate in Cleveland, then to campaign events in Pennsylvania, Minnesota, and New Jersey. This past Sunday, while being treated at Walter Reed, in an unexpected move, Trump greeted his supporters outside the hospital from the presidential motorcade, putting Secret Service members at risk. On Monday evening, the president returned to the White House, where he is continuing his recovery. His diagnosis has had a large effect on his campaign, sidelining him from the trail for at least 2 weeks.
The next topic I want to get to is the president and COVID. President Trump's positive COVID diagnosis threw both campaigns for a loop. BRIANNA, we'll go to you first. How did the Trump campaign respond?
As I mentioned earlier, President Trump was discharged from Walter Reed Monday night, writing in a tweet that he was feeling really good, although he is not in the clear just yet. On Friday and Saturday, the president's blood oxygen levels dropped, prompting doctors to administer supplemental oxygen in addition to other medications. White House physician Sean Conley said that while Trump's condition has improved, he would still need to be monitored for any unexpected changes in the coming days. Even though he was infected with COVID, Trump continues to downplay the severity of the virus. On Monday, he tweeted, "Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. We have developed, under the Trump administration, some really great drugs and knowledge."
Sejal, how'd the Biden campaign respond?
Last week at the presidential debate, Biden and Trump sparred over the president's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as what would be the most effective approach to handle the pandemic going forward. As BRIANNA mentioned, Trump has since then contracted COVID and was just discharged from Walter Reed. On October 2nd, Biden pulled all negative ads in lieu of Trump's COVID diagnosis and tweeted that, quote, "Jill and I are sending our thoughts to President Trump and First Lady Melania for a swift recovery." That same day, Biden announced that he will be releasing all of his COVID test results going forward. The Biden campaign seems to be emphasizing transparency with the American public, announcing on October 4th that he tested negative. He held a town hall in Miami, Florida on Monday and stressed that wearing a mask is patriotic. So over the course of the campaign trail, but especially within this past week, we've seen this message of taking the coronavirus seriously at the forefront of the Biden campaign.
All right, and next on the docket now is taxes. Last week, the New York Times published a stunning report on the president's tax returns, bringing the topic of taxes back to the forefront of the campaign. BRIANNA, we'll go to you first. How'd the Trump campaign respond?
On September 27th, the New York Times published a groundbreaking story on President Trump's finances, making public some of his highly sought-out tax returns. The article revealed that he paid only $750 in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017, and none at all in 10 of the past 15 years. Essentially, Trump's business ventures, from his golf courses to his hotels, lost millions of dollars more than they made. In his campaign and presidency, Trump marketed himself to the public as a successful businessman, but his reports to the IRS show a different side of that story. In response to the New York Times' findings, Mr. Trump's lawyer told the Times that most, if not all, of the facts appear to be inaccurate, and that he paid tens of millions of dollars in personal taxes. At the debate last week, Chris Wallace asked Trump how much he paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017. Trump denied the information the Times published, saying he paid millions of dollars.
Sejal, how'd the Biden campaign respond?
After the New York Times dropped the bombshell report on the president's taxes, Biden and Harris released their 2019 tax returns just hours before the presidential debate. This move is in line with a long-held precedent of candidates and presidents releasing their tax returns to the public. Again, another move on the Biden campaign in their effort to increase transparency on the trail.
And finally, where are they headed? Let's take a look at what both campaigns have on the schedule for next week. Sejal, we'll go to you first. What's the plan look like for VP Biden?
Vice President Biden seems enthusiastic about the next debate, assuming that President Trump is in good health to participate. Just a few days ago, the Biden campaign also announced that it would resume door-to-door voter canvassing, yet it had criticized the Trump campaign for conducting in-person activities in the past. We have yet to see how Biden and his team plan to conduct in-person activities. And we can anticipate that Biden will keep pushing this message of unity to the American public. In the CNN nationwide poll released earlier this week, the vice president is leading President Trump in the polls among likely voters, 57% to 41%. So Biden will need to keep appealing to moderates and key states to maintain his lead.
BRIANNA, what does President Trump's campaign have in the docket for next week?
President Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis came at a critical point in the election. According to the same CNN poll Sejal mentioned, VP Biden holds a 16-point lead over President Trump among likely voters. However, amid the president's diagnosis, he isn't able to hit the trail at such a pivotal time, with less than 30 days until the election. He's off of the campaign trail until his health is restored, and at this moment, it is unclear when that will be. One benchmark the campaign is hoping to hit: the second presidential debate, which is scheduled for October 15th. Nonetheless, don't expect Trump to abandon his social media presence until then. Trump's campaign team launched what they are calling Operation MAGA. This includes a mix of virtual and in-person events featuring Vice President Pence and Trump's children, all of whom tested negative for coronavirus. This Thursday, Pence will attend an in-person rally in Peoria, Arizona. Given the low number of undecided voters, the Trump campaign will continue to speak to their conservative base.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this first installment of Colonial Crossfire's Campaign Countdown. A special thanks to our two correspondents, Sejal Govindarao and BRIANNA BUDELLI. Thank you so much for bringing us the latest from the campaign trail. Be on the lookout for more content from Colonial Crossfire and GWTV, and be sure to check us out on social media. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. For all of us here at GWTV, I'm Michael Schnell. Thanks for getting caught in the crossfire with us. Social distance, wear a mask, and we'll see you right back here next time.